It began quietly in the bustling city of Wuhan, China. The streets were alive with the usual hustle and bustle, people going about their daily lives unaware of the storm that was brewing. A mysterious illness, a kind of pneumonia, began to appear in late 2019. It started with a few isolated cases, but soon more and more people were falling ill. People were getting sick, some severely. Doctors were baffled. They had never seen anything like it before. The symptoms were severe and the usual treatments were not working. The culprit? A novel coronavirus, later named SARS-CoV-2. This tiny, invisible enemy was unlike anything the world had encountered before. This virus, previously unknown to science, had jumped from animals to humans. It was believed to have originated in a wet market where live animals were sold. It spread silently, invisibly, through the air we breathe, the surfaces we touch. It was highly contagious, and before long it was spreading rapidly. As 2019 drew to a close, a sense of unease settled over Wuhan. The city, once vibrant and full of life, was now gripped by fear and uncertainty. The world watched with a mixture of curiosity and concern. News of the mysterious illness spread quickly, and people everywhere began to worry. Little did we know this was just the beginning of a global crisis that would touch every corner of the planet. The virus was cunning, spreading faster than anyone could have imagined. It exploited the very things that make us human, our need to connect, to work, to travel. It thrived in our social interactions, making it difficult to contain. And as the world celebrated the start of a new year, COVID-19 was already on the move. Unseen and unstoppable, it was spreading across borders, ready to change the world forever. Scientists around the world sprang into action. They worked day and night, studying the virus, trying to understand its secrets. Their mission to develop tests, treatments, and ultimately a vaccine. The virus, however, had a head start. It spread with alarming speed, crossing borders carried by unsuspecting travelers. The World Health Organization issued warnings, urging countries to prepare for a potential pandemic. Time was of the essence. The world watched and waited, holding its breath as the virus continued its relentless march across the globe. January 2020, the virus, once confined to Wuhan, began to appear in other countries. First a trickle, then a steady stream as cases were reported in Thailand, Japan, South Korea, and beyond. The world was now on high alert. Airports became checkpoints with temperature screenings and health questionnaires. The virus, however, was already a step ahead, silently infiltrating communities around the world. By March 2020, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. The world watched in disbelief as country after country reported soaring infection rates. The virus had become a global threat, and life as we knew it was about to change dramatically. Faced with an unprecedented health crisis, governments around the world took drastic measures. Lockdowns were imposed, schools and businesses were shuttered, and travel came to a grinding halt. The streets fell silent. The once bustling cities, now eerily empty, resembled scenes from a post-apocalyptic film. The world held its breath, waiting to see what the virus would do next. For many, the lockdown was a time of fear and uncertainty, but it was also a time for reflection, for connecting with loved ones, and for appreciating the simple things in life. Section 5: Economic fallout, a crisis like no other. The economic impact of the pandemic was swift and devastating. Businesses, large and small, were forced to close their doors, leading to mass layoffs and soaring unemployment rates. Global supply chains ground to a halt, disrupting industries and leaving shelves bare. The stock market, a barometer of economic health, went into freefall, wiping out trillions of dollars in wealth. Governments scrambled to provide financial assistance to struggling businesses and individuals. But the economic scars of the pandemic would run deep, leaving many wondering if a full recovery was even possible. Section 6: The social fabric unravels. The pandemic was not just a health crisis, it was a social crisis as well. Lockdowns and social distancing measures led to isolation, loneliness, and a rise in mental health issues. Schools closed, forcing students to adapt to online learning. Social gatherings were cancelled, leaving many feeling disconnected from their communities. The virus had exposed the fragility of our social fabric. Despite the challenges, there were also stories of resilience and hope. Communities came together to support each other, sharing resources and offering words of encouragement. The pandemic had reminded us of the importance of human connection, even in the face of adversity. Section 7. Governments respond, a patchwork of policies. Governments around the world grappled with how to respond to the pandemic. Some acted swiftly, imposing strict lockdowns and border closures. Others hesitated, wary of the economic and social consequences of such measures. The result was a patchwork of policies, some more effective than others. Testing strategies varied widely. Contact tracing efforts were often inadequate, and the availability of personal protective equipment, or PPE, was inconsistent. The pandemic exposed the strengths and weaknesses of different political systems and healthcare infrastructure. It also highlighted the importance of international cooperation in addressing global health threats. Section 8. Science to the rescue, vaccines and treatments. Amidst the fear and uncertainty, there was a glimmer of hope: science. Researchers around the world worked tirelessly to develop vaccines and treatments for COVID-19. In record time, scientists achieved what was once thought impossible, developing safe and effective vaccines against the virus. Clinical trials showed promising results, offering a ray of light in a dark time. While vaccines were hailed as a game changer, scientists also made significant strides in developing treatments for COVID-19. Antiviral drugs and other therapies helped to reduce the severity of the disease and save lives. Section 9. Frontline heroes, healthcare workers and their sacrifice. Throughout the pandemic, healthcare workers stood on the front lines, risking their own health to care for the sick and dying. Doctors, nurses, paramedics and other essential workers worked tirelessly, often under grueling conditions. They faced shortages of PPE, long hours, and the emotional toll of witnessing so much suffering. Many became infected with the virus themselves, and some tragically lost their lives. The world applauded their bravery, their compassion, and their unwavering dedication to their patients. They were the true heroes of the pandemic, a testament to the very best of humanity. Section 10. Lessons learned, adapting to a new world. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a wake-up call, exposing the vulnerabilities of our interconnected world. It has shown us how quickly our daily lives can be upended and how fragile our systems can be in the face of a global crisis. It has forced us to confront uncomfortable truths about our healthcare systems, our social safety nets, and our preparedness for global health emergencies. The strain on hospitals, the economic hardships, and the social isolation have highlighted the gaps and weaknesses that need urgent attention. But the pandemic has also taught us valuable lessons about resilience, innovation, and the importance of collective action. Communities have come together to support one another, and we've seen incredible advancements in medical research and technology in record time. We have learned to adapt to new ways of living, working, and connecting with each other. Remote work, virtual meetings, and online social gatherings have become the new norm, showing our ability to stay connected despite physical distances. We have witnessed the power of science and the extraordinary capabilities of the human spirit. The rapid development and distribution of vaccines have been a testament to what we can achieve when we work together towards a common goal. And perhaps most importantly, we have been reminded of the preciousness of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. The simple joys of being with loved ones, the beauty of nature, and the laughter of children have taken on new meaning in these challenging times. Section 11. The long road to recovery, building back better. This chapter delves into the multifaceted journey of rebuilding our world in the aftermath of the pandemic. As we emerge from the shadow of the pandemic, we face the daunting task of rebuilding our lives and our societies. The pandemic has left an indelible mark on every aspect of our existence, from our daily routines to our long-term aspirations. The road to recovery will be long and challenging, but it is a journey we must undertake together. Unity and collective effort will be our guiding lights as we navigate this path. We must address the economic disparities that were exacerbated by the pandemic, providing support to those who have been left behind. This includes creating job opportunities, ensuring access to education, and fostering an inclusive economy. We must strengthen our healthcare systems, invest in scientific research, and prioritize global health security. By doing so, we can better prepare for future crises and safeguard the well-being of all. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a defining moment in human history. It has reshaped our world in ways we are still coming to understand. It has tested our limits, challenged our assumptions, and forced us to re-evaluate what truly matters. Our resilience and adaptability have been put to the test, and we have discovered new ways to connect and collaborate. As we move forward, we must carry the lessons we have learned with us, building a more just, equitable, and resilient world for generations to come. This is our opportunity to create a future that is not only sustainable, but also compassionate and inclusive.